what I put up here is the timeline of ARPA. We've been talking about this for multiple years. They did release funds in 2021. I had become before council 2 years ago to come up with a recommendation on how to allocate those funds. I gave you an update a year ago, and then today is another annual update. And we have to have, what's very important is that red box on the screen. We must have all the funds committed. We can no longer reallocate at that point by the end of this calendar year. So that's a very important piece here. As a reminder, when we establish the goals for allocation, we want to make sure, obviously, it meets all ARPA requirements, that the projects could be completed by the end of this calendar year. We didn't want to put anything that would grow government. These are just temporary funds, so people need to understand that once these funds are gone, they're gone. We wanted to align with council priorities, and again, what you have said over and over, affordable housing and adequate infrastructure are some of your priorities. And we didn't want to duplicate other efforts that we knew that the state was doing too. So the allocations have always, the dollar amounts have shifted, but the actual categories have stayed the same since the beginning. We've contributed to sewer infrastructure, affordable housing, other low-income services. We've given to nonprofit grants. We've done security upgrades to our sewer infrastructure, and those are IT security upgrades. We've added some EOC and EMS employees with this fund. We've added 4 in both of those departments. And we also supported the hospitality industry through our kitchen incubator. Now, I want to go into some of the successes that we have had. And a lot of those are our low-income projects. So the first one is our home buyer assistance. This is where we give assistance for down payments to get people into their homes. So you had allocated $900,000 for this program. We have completed 20 settlements. There's one pending and one pending application. And that's assisted with the families who made less than 65% AMI. And you can see the distribution on the type of families going into those homes. And we 10% are elderly, 20% is disabled. And you can see majority of them are female head of household. The next success story is our rehabilitation. Both of these programs are handled through Brandy's group at Community Development and Housing. They've spent $2 million. They repair homes and families, again, making 65% less than AMI. The projects involve emergency repairs, roofing, weatherization. They have completed 138 projects with this. They still have 23 projects under construction and 21 applications in process. So when this is all said and done with the funds that they already have allocated, there would be 182 homes that have been repaired in Sussex with these ARPA funds. Okay, and our third success that I wanted to touch on is housing sustainability. So in addition to ARPA, we had also received other federal funds through the CARES Act. We spent $326,000 on housing sustainability. That impacted 191 households, which is an average payment of $1,700 per household. And what this does is helps families not become homeless. So it helps with eviction or any utility shutoffs, such as water. We would step in, the nonprofits that we were helping would step in to provide the dollars so that they would not be evicted. Okay, so moving on to the dollar amounts. So as I said a few slides back, on the left are all the types of buckets that we decided to put money into. So wastewater infrastructure, the nonprofit grants, the security upgrades with sewer. You can see what the allocations were. We had gotten $45.5 million. The next column is looking at what contracts we have already committed to these projects. You can see we have $43.6 million already committed and expected to be spent through December 2024. So we're doing very good. There are some that we know some of the contracts did not come in as high as we thought. Some of the projects didn't succeed as much as we would want to. So I want to reallocate those funds by the end of this year and make sure that they are spent. So as you can see where those categories are, security, $500,000, housing. These were for the development, bringing on some affordable housing units, assistance release, the kitchen incubator, and administration. It's not costing us much to operate as we thought we would. So moving those funds, my recommendation is to reallocate into 3 areas, really. It's low-income partnerships, which there's 2 recommendations there, and back to that rehabilitation piece where I showed you that we've already spent $2 million and how successful that's been. I would like to take the piece where we're getting from the housing piece for the contractors and move that to the rehabilitation piece. So going into a little more detail with the low-income partners, where I said about $900,000 going in there. Food Bank had applied about 2 years ago through our nonprofit program for these ARPA funds. It has taken us some time on what we could make it qualify for ARPA. So my recommendation is now at this time to award them $750,000 of the ARPA funds specifically for food purchases. And then the second piece is to continue with the Housing Sustainability Assistance Program of $150,000. And what that does is continue those partnerships that we already created with the CARES Act through the Community Resource Center and the First State Community Action Agency. And again, work through Brandy's Community Housing Development Group. They would funnel this funding through to them and get those funds to families to help them with evictions or utility shutoffs. So the next steps for council is a motion to enter into an ARPA grant agreement with the food bank for the $750,000 if you so choose. We will open our last round of low-income housing development grants. That was that $5 million piece. We still have $2 million left, so we're going to open that up. That opens up April 1st. We will come back before council in May for you to vote on those grant applications once that application closes. So at this point, it's just a motion, or I'll take any questions.
Any questions, Gina?
What do you anticipate?
Yes. The question.
I have a question, Mr. President. I was just wondering if what the food bank's intention is for the money, or if it's an open-ended grant, or.
No, it is specifically for food. It is not open-ended. So I will be requesting to show that, well, they have to also show that they went out to bid for the food.
So it's purchase of food, it's not for capital improvements?
No, it is just for the purchase of food specifically.
I'll make a motion to approve the grant with the food bank.
Okay, well, do you have a motion?
I have a motion. It's just
okay.
Be it moved that the Sussex County Council agree to enter into a grant agreement with the food bank to provide $750,000 of ARPA fund to purchase food.
Motion, Mr. Schaefer, second.
Second.
Who said that first?
I did.
Mr. Riley, okay. Second, Mr. Riley. Questions on the motion? We'll take the vote. Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mrs. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
I vote yes, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.